Joshua Baca. I'm 33 years old. I am a Texan and a New Mexican. I am a gay Latino. I just always remember wearing high heels and jewelry. And I remember emulating my mom when she was getting ready. She would leave and I would be with my grandparents and I would be putting makeup on. I think I was like 4 years old. I don't remember specifics. I do remember going to the kitchen table and my grandpa asked me, "Why do you have on makeup?" And I don't remember answering, but I got to sit at the kitchen table with makeup on. I would go to family events with jewels, carrying a purse, wearing a dress, like 4 or 5. I think everyone thought I would grow out of it. My grandmother has said when they were trying to come to terms with themselves when I was so young, well, his mom was a huge influence in his life, and my mother being so glamorous and eccentric, it's such a bold part of his life. Of course he's going to emulate it. There was a phase in my life where I was trying to identify with my culture because I couldn't identify with anybody in school. I was growing up in Plano, Texas, which is a very affluent area in the US, and being the only Hispanic for, my God, the majority of my school years, I didn't have a sense of identity. I didn't mix well with straight kids, which was everybody. I didn't make any sense with the Latinos because there weren't any. The rejects didn't want me because I was in my own kind of reject bubble. So I tried to identify as being a cholo, but that's a different element. But when I discovered drag, I was about 19 years old. No, I was about 20 years old. And it was unbelievable. I went to my first gay bar, and I had seen this entity, which I had no idea what it was. I knew it was a man in a dress, but I didn't know that it was okay. And it was at 18 overnight. It was a Wednesday night in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was in college, and I was with my cousin, and we were gonna go. My cousin was so supportive, and I was like, you know what? I want to wear high heels, but I didn't know anything else about the geesh or any of it. And we bought high heels, and we went, and it was so liberating because it reminded me of what I used to feel like when I was like 6 years old. Wearing the high heels again, I was 18, 19 years old, and it transformed me back to the liberation of walking in heels. And I will say this always, a woman in a good pair of heels and a man can conquer the world. And the confidence it gives you is unbelievable. But being able just to be myself and to be around other people who had a bigger freak flag than mine was amazing. And that's when I got to the point where I started over-exaggerating my gayness because I wasn't going to be told I couldn't, and I ran with it. I really ran with it. As a man, without the makeup, I felt so repulsive, so inadequate. I would wear slacks and a button down to work, and I just felt out of my skin. I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I didn't feel right. And so I started the process of thinking, am I trans? Is this what the first step of identifying myself as a trans woman? And I was so grateful that I had quite a few trans friends in the community. And I had the most amazing drag mother, Erica Andrews. And she was like, no, you're not trans. I know trans, you are not trans. You're just a feminine little boy. And that helped me, but she did say, you need to think about it. She said, don't take my word for it. You need to think about this and have some soul searching to do. Because it doesn't come up, you don't discover this overnight. For some girls, you just don't. And I really had to understand where this was coming from, and it came from my insecurities of me as a man with that. I always had a relationship with God. I went to church. I was very active in a youth group. Went away from it. Not really went away from it. I just didn't practice in my 20s. And then I was reintroduced by the grace of my stepdad, who I consider my dad now, that there's no judgment, and people do not need to be so concerned with my relationship. My interpretation of the Bible is my interpretation, and people can say, you can't interpret it. Okay, don't worry about it. if the Bible is what it says, that it's going to put me in hell, I don't want that. I need to really analyze my feelings. Am I gay, or is this just something that I can move away, push away? And you can't. So you have to pray on it. And for me, I had to let the Holy Spirit allow me to put me and God in an okay place. That we are good.